Welcome to the Bayou City Soccer Podcast. Whether inside or outside the loop, we are talking everything soccer in Houston. Y'all ready? Let's get it.
Hey, welcome everybody. How's it going? Rudy here, Christian here. How's everything going?
How's it going, man? It's good to see you again on a Monday night, 9 o'clock. I think it's a good time for us. Everybody gets home from work. You probably just got home from work,
Bro,
probably
it took
barely
me
parked.
it took me 3 hours to get home.
Oh
3
my
hours.
God. That is ridiculous, man. But hey,
Is
we're glad you made it. And you know what? I'm wearing the same shirt as you. So look at that. We
Hey,
didn't
there you
even
go.
plan it. Look at that. Beautiful. You know what? Beautiful shirt from our friends at Ugly Guppy. They hooked it up. Hopefully we get a little bit more gear from them. Reach out to them and maybe we can
No
have a
pressure.
shirt. No pressure. We'll have a shirt for you guys to maybe buy off their website and kind of help Ugly Guppy push along. But Christian, we have a lot of stuff to touch on, and I'm excited, man. I think we're getting closer and closer and closer to
Yeah.
the regular season. I already put it on the schedule. I know maybe last year I talked about not not going to the game for Champions Cup, but I think I put it on the schedule, man. It's there, a 9 o'clock game. I'll be there, but obviously before that we'll have the home opener against Sporting KC. I'm actually planning to go to the Gold Cup matches on Sunday, so the next day, and then Tuesday. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I get put in the doghouse for a little bit, but you know what? Soccer is back and it's so worth it, buddy. But hey, tell the people how they can connect with us before we get started, my friend.
Yeah, of course. Everything lives on the website. So BayouCitySoccer.net. You can find everything there. And you can always, of course, check us out on social media, Twitter at Bayou City Soccer, Facebook, Instagram as well at Bayou City Soccer. And don't forget to go to the YouTube channel. I don't know if you're watching there. Maybe you're watching through Twitter. But, hit us up there. Also, Bayou City Soccer, we try to stay up to date, put all the press conferences and everything like that. But, everything's going to redirect you and take you back to BayouCitySoccer.net where all the articles live and everything like that. So we got a schedule ready to go as soon as the season kicks in. We're going to be kicking it as well. I mean, a bunch of us are already writing here and there. But a bunch of stuff is coming in, and honestly, I'm very excited to see what us as Bayou City Soccer are going to be able to do this year. I think it's going to be really good content, honestly, and check us out, man. It's going to be good.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be fun. It's going to be some work, but you know what? We like it. So at the end of the day, it's some good work you put in. But shout out to Dago. Since I'm still in school, that sucks for you, man. Graduated a while back, so but I think he means he's still in class. That sucks, man. That's late. Sometimes it's good to take some late classes, but not too crazy late. But I guess I go a rundown of what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk a little bit about the Dash. We do have a orange talk for you guys that we'll try to debut, see if we can play it live here for you guys to listen to. But we were able to chat with Tate Schmidt, defender from the Houston Dynamo. Myself and Dustin Richardson were able to talk to him a couple hours ago. So recent interview, nothing from like a month ago, so don't get all whiny and stuff. So and then we'll finish up with the Dynamo. Obviously, there's still Mexico, there's news there, a game that we got played today, and a couple other news surrounding it. But man, Christian, I'm ready. Let's get it, man.
Let's get it, bro.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get started with the Houston Dash. And you know what? Let me go ahead and put our names on here. I don't know why I took them off, but you know what? We'll get you going, buddy. We'll get you going. Just so people know who you are and follow you on social medias. But Houston Dash is finally back at work, right? So they just landed in Arizona for their preseason, at least to begin their preseason training. Christian, man, here's the 29 players currently on that roster. So if you can let the people know who they are, man.
Yeah, I might, butcher a lot of these, but
that's why I gave them to
grace.
you. That gave them to you because it's the norm, and I was like, I do it too. So you know what? It's one or the other, my friend. It's one or
Rudy said, "Hey, can you read the names?" But he didn't. I didn't see the ulterior motives behind that.
the other.
But yeah, going in, they have four goalkeepers. You have Emily Alvarado, Jane Campbell, of course, Savannah or Savannah, as they would say in Spanish, Savannah Madden, and then Heather Hintz.
Good
She's
job, man. Good
draft picks.
job.
There you go.
Yeah.
4 for 4, kind of. Uh, Defenders, we got 10 so far. Madison Asen, NRI. I don't know what that means. Maybe
Uh,
injury.
so no. It's on the
I don't
bottom.
know.
So you see it says
Oh,
non-roster invite.
qué boludo.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, there you go. You see the little letters next to the name. You look at the key at the bottom, as maybe I should have done too.
It's
But then we
it's
have
fine.
Alyssa Ooh, this is a tough one. Burgo. I don't know.
Oh, I think you hit it, bro. I think you hit it.
Burgo. Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
think that sounds right. Yeah.
Alicia Chapman.
Chappie. We know Chappie.
Madeline DeCiano,
Yeah.
Julissa Harris, Natalie Jacobs, Katie Lind, Courtney Peterson, Ali Prisock. I thought, didn't she leave?
No. She's still
No, she's
here.
still back. Okay.
Yeah.
Sarah Punningham, and then Croix Sato. That's an interesting name.
That is just
Croix.
interesting name.
Isn't that a drink? No,
LaCroix.
LaCroix.
Yeah.
LaCroix.
LaCroix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Man.
wonder if there's any relation.
You're
We can
cultured,
hook it
bro.
up. I have a cultured individual. And then we go to the midfielders, Andressa Alves, the international from Brazil, right?
Mhm.
That I think a lot of people have been hyping her up really, I guess, whenever she was coming in last year. Belle Breed,
That's right.
Eris Fredfeld.
Yeah, that sounds good, man.
That's what I would have been. Sophie Hurst, Sophie Schmidt. We got two Sophies.
Mhm.
Bana Solon, Barbara Olivieri. I like that one. Kiki Van Seyten. Is that a T? Yeah, Van Seyten.
Yeah. Sorry.
She's a draft pick. And then going into the forwards, the firepower, the ones that you need to be working on all cylinders, Michelle Alozzi, Ryan Garris, Paulina Gramaglia, but I think she's still out on loan in Brazil. Cici Kaiser, that, there was a whole ordeal there that she got transferred from Kansas City. Yuki Nagasato, the international from Japan. Diana Ordonez, as we all know her. Avery Patterson, the draft. Maria Sanchez, one of the highest paid NWSL players. And Amanda West, another draft pick there to kind of complete the 29 preseason roster.
Yeah, and of course you mentioned the keep down there. We have a couple people out in maternity leave that who knows if they'll probably miss the whole season. So obviously Alicia Chapman and Ryan Garris are both two of those, and then a couple. Right now, currently, there's no one with a season-ending injury, which is great to see. Unlike the Dynamo so far, with what it seems like, and we'll touch on them. But yeah, no, this roster should be pretty competitive. They'll be playing a couple friendlies coming up here shortly. They'll be playing against Racing Louisville. I believe it was February 12th. They'll be taking on the University of Arizona women's soccer team as well. That'll be another friendly coming up. They'll be playing the Costa Rican national team, which is kind of funny to see those. Didn't we just see like Inter Miami play El Salvador? So
yeah,
those are kind of for sure a little funny, but it should be a good test. Obviously, when you have international teams, usually that's the best of the best of that country. So hopefully that gives them good competition to fence off against. They'll be taking also the University of Austin as well, and
Texas
then
at Austin.
yeah, and then they'll be finishing with two friendlies. I believe in Florida they'll be playing against Kansas City Current, which is, as you can see the picture, Nichelle Prince's new team, and the Washington Spirit. So those are the teams that they will be taking on, Christian. So right now, the Dash again are barely getting it started with their games taking place, the regular season at least taking place mid-March, late March. So we'll get there. Soccer is finally back. I think you retweeted that schedule for February is like soccer's back, man. Soccer's back, and I think we really enjoy it, man. So you know, I wish Joey would have been joining us, or Monty, that maybe keep up more with the Houston Dash, just because I feel that it's not fair the amount
Yeah,
of information that we provide. But at the
we
same
do our
time,
best.
yeah, but at the same time, I was thinking there's not necessarily a lot out there either. So,
Yeah, yeah,
um,
yeah. Still the
like
beginning.
like you said, the biggest news was the whole trade between Kansas City Current and the Dash that happened obviously a couple weeks ago. So far, and apart from, well, I guess and it is news, but the coach, he's not in town yet. I don't believe. Last time I saw, he was still trying to get everything lined up to come to the United States. So, um, the Dash are not, don't
You're
have the coach right
coachless.
now. Yeah, so it's a big deal. Obviously, to
Yeah.
trying to put a team together and implement, your new style. So, I would say if you're a Houston Dash fan, be patient, right? I think overall the Houston Dash fans are a little patient, not as impatient as maybe the Dynamo fans in
Hmm.
comparison, but definitely be aware that with so many new variables, you are gonna need a little bit of time. I think the only helpful part is that there is a lot of returning players for sure. So, um,
Keep
Christian,
your base.
yeah, 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 for sure. So that's very important. Um, we do have, I guess, it wasn't one of the topics we mentioned, but the Women's Gold Cup again, same thing around the corner. We'll get more into it as it gets closer. We should have one of us in Bayou City Soccer covering those games that are happening at Shell Energy Stadium with the group that Canada is head of. So that should be a pretty good one, man. I'm excited to make it out to at least one of those nights and see, what CONCACAF and some of the invite teams like the Argentina and Paraguay and stuff like that can showcase. But Christian, man, let's tell the people a little bit. You know what, man? I hope that everybody, whoever's listening and watching us, I hope you kind of like the overlay. It finally worked out. I was telling Christian, it only took 4 tries, man, or no, three. This is the third time, so it only took 3 times, 3 weeks to get it right. And hey, you live and you learn, my friend. But I was gonna say on the bottom, you can see one of our main sponsors being Ugly Guppy. We mentioned in the past, if you're interested of becoming one of our sponsors, um, let us know. Reach out to us. We would obviously love to partner with you, especially if you're local here in Houston. I mean, that's kind of what would really, really, really want to get involved with the community. So let's make that happen. And yeah, Christian, you flex your shirt, man. We have the Ugly Guppy emblem on the side, and again, they provided this shirt for us for the playoffs in 2023. We have a couple other items that we are going to use for the Bayou City Soccer for our team, our crew, and we're again trying to get maybe a little bit more apparel, maybe just one extra shirt that you guys can buy, help us, supporting not just Bayou City Soccer, but again, Ugly Guppy. They really, um, jumped in to help us, and so obviously give them as much love to them as you do us. But Christian, we kind of teased it a little bit. Orange Talk, Tate
Hmm.
Schmidt. We were able to talk to him.
Tater tots.
Tater tots, man. I think this guy became a really quick a fan favorite. And
Yeah.
yeah, just little I guess summary that you guys are going to listen obviously about him just coming into the team, the injury, the process to get back in health, and of course being back with the team. And so we hope that you guys enjoyed this segment. We used to always separate them, but now that we're trying to do a lot of this live stream, and Chris makes an appearance after driving 3 hours. Thanks, Chris, for that. But man, I'll go ahead and play it, and yeah, check it out, man. I mean,
It's also my
and
first time
welcome to the
watching it.
Bayou
So
City Soccer Podcast. My name is Rudy Segura, and alongside Dustin Richardson, we have a special segment for you guys that we like to call Orange Talk. And we are joined today by Houston Dynamo defender Tate Schmidt. Tate, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Okay, so last season, you joined the Houston Dynamo during the preseason. So happy anniversary, by the way.
Yeah.
But to
Thank
quote
you.
the great American poet Miley Cyrus, you came in like a wrecking ball, man, taking over that left back position, scoring the first goal of the season for the team. How was that transition, from newcomer to the new starting left back in such a short amount last year?
Um, I was just thankful for the opportunity to, sign with Houston Dynamo and to get the opportunity from the get go. I feel like I showed the coaching staff as well as the team kind of what I was capable of playing that role, and they kind of gave me that confidence from the beginning. And with some of the injuries that were going on, I kind of embraced that starting spot. Felt like I took advantage of my opportunity. Had some good games in the first, run of 5 games, but then obviously the injury kind of set me back. So now we're here now.
Yeah, so you mentioned the injury. You had that good run going, then San Jose, you get hurt. It's kind of looked like a fluke play over there on the sideline. Kind of what happened? Did you know like what had happened right away, and had you ever kind of experienced something like that before?
No, it was just fluke type play. Probably should have checked my shoulder and saw the guy that was coming and kind of like go shoulder to shoulder. Wasn't anticipating that, but then just like planning, I did like feel something a little bit like weird. I was kind of just more like pissed of kind of like getting hit that I wanted to like get back up and start playing, but obviously it felt something a little bit off. They like sprayed like the magic spray or whatever on, and I was like ready to like get back in, but then when I took my like first couple of steps jogging, running again, I realized that there was something wrong. And so then obviously just like going back in the locker room, I was not thinking it was the worst of being an ACL, but then after, seeing the doctor's face and putting it into reality that it is, then I kind of all just like hit in very fast that I was just like, my season's kind of over, which was pretty upsetting.
Yeah, so you find yourself going through surgery, recovery. How's that time, being part of the team and not at the same time, if that makes sense? And did you find the whole process challenging?
Yeah, extremely. I mean, the biggest thing for me is just not having that competitive just aspect of your life, being able to compete day in, day out on the field, in games, just being a part of it all, just like on the field was very, very challenging for me. I had to like mentally kind of shut out soccer in my mind for the first couple of months just to tune out the game, tune out the feeling of it all because I just like missed it so much. But obviously, I just stayed diligent day in day, doing all the therapy and the rehab for it, and kind of just trusting in the program that the athletic staff as well as the doctors and surgeons had for me of day by day progressing to get back from being on crutches to be able to walk again, from walking again to be able to jog, being able to be back on the ball, and then just step by step. Now we're back here today. So I just felt like I was very patient with it all. I knew realistically it is a big injury that can potentially change a player's career, and I didn't want that kind of possibility to happen. So I try to just be as patient as I possibly could to listen to the doctors and go through each step to make sure everything healed properly. Strengthen all the muscles around the area to make sure I'm back firing and the same kind of way I was before I got injured.
So the team had a very successful year, won the Open Cup. You got to be there for that, got to the playoffs, but you weren't able to kind of play in that. How do those kind of big moments like that motivate you, as you're coming back to keep pushing to get back to this team, seeing that they're, kind of on the rise and doing a lot better?
Yeah, tremendously. I think that was one of the reasons I've actually kind of sped up my rehab in a sense. I feel like just being around that energy, seeing the team, get to face Miami in the Open Cup championship, just the whole energy around the whole entire group going into that, second third of the season. I felt like I was like, obviously knowing I'm not going to be a part of it, but I wanted to be a part of it mentally, like with the guys, supporting them, encouraging them, being the guy in the locker room that's still, or in the gym that's still working his butt off to get back, and just like kind of creating my own energy that can be a little bit, I would say, just reflective onto them. So I try to just do my part as best I could of just being encouraging and positive in everything that I'm doing, and just be excited to see the group just continue the success that they had. And I feel like that helped me, just stayed motivated, stayed positive, stayed excited to watch the team. And I felt like that really just like expedited my like rehab, because I feel like mentally I was like still feeling like I was a part of everything, because the guys in the group too really kept me involved and kept me, positive and checking on me. So I feel like it was a whole like collective effort of, keeping me positive, but then also knowing that I have a role in the team too, to not be like a negative influence in any sort of being there for the guys as well.
Okay, so now you're back on the pitch, getting some minutes, even setting up some goals in preseason. How does it feel, to be back in the fold of things and in the squad?
It feels so good. I can't even put it to words how nice it is being back on the field every day. I was just like, kind of just like step on the field, and it just like hits me that I'm like back doing what I love again. And I feel like I have like a different just perception on, the ability to be able to run for a ball, to be able to kick the ball as hard as I can and not like feel pain, like just all these little things that I would have trouble, in the beginning stage of my rehab, and even just not even being able to walk. It kind of like puts a perception, and I feel just like truly just blessed and just thankful every day to be able to just have my body be able to work for me to be able to play this game. So I feel like I have a better just like perception of being able to be back. Everything's been feeling really good. I personally am actually surprised of how well I'm doing at this, time frame of where I'm at with my rehab right now. But I'm slowly just gaining back the confidence of the little things of, getting back into tackles, aerial duels, being able to compete in the air, landing, cutting, all just the stuff that you kind of don't think about too much, but obviously it's in the back of your head, because once again, you're still in those early stages where you don't want to possibly re-injure or do anything stupid that could, prolong your return to play or being back longer. So I think everything I've been doing has been feeling good. It's been a joy just being able to play with the guys, compete, and it's fun also too, realizing the I hate to be cocky, but the talent and the quality that I have to be able to continue to help the team, even though it's still a little bit early of me getting back. But I'm excited at all the progress that I've been making, as well as just the support from all the coaches and the teammates that have helped me get to this point. So I'm just trying to take it day by day again, making sure I'm doing all the little stuff to keep myself healthy and continuing getting through preseason while helping the team and staying healthy.
So talking about helping the team, we talked to Griffin a little bit. He played kind of as an attacker coming up. You played a lot as an attacker. It looked like you had about 26 goals or something in college. Getting forward, now you're more a left back. How does that kind of versatility help you with the role and kind of where you fit on this team?
Yeah, it's I mean, the coaching staff and the upper management know when they signed me, I'm not just a left back. That is a position I've been playing, in the years prior before coming to Houston Dynamo. But I still have those attacking qualities that I feel, probably the most comfortable with, long term in my career of playing. So I know I have those capabilities to, be a little bit more creative and dynamic in the attack, but then also realizing in the past 2 years that I have been kind of more of a solidified left back, that I can do that defensive work and kind of provide both on the offensive and defensive side. So it's one of the I would say versatility of me being able to play in multiple positions. That's helpful for a player like me, but then it's also, the coaches are like, okay, well, where do you fit and do best in our formation and in our structure of how we play? So I think it's also just a balance of letting the coaches see me in, let's say outside mid position, or, the left back position, more defensively building on the three, or maybe higher up on the left side. That's more, 1v1 isolated. So it's all the different roles that I know how to play, but I think it's just gaining the confidence again and the chemistry of playing alongside all the other guys that are around in those areas, to then just feel comfortable and know what our team wants in both aspects of the field and attack and defense. So it's just timing and getting that confidence and rhythm back of it all again.
Hey man, so it's been great chatting with you so far. Now to the serious questions, I think. I think we want the fans obviously to get to know you guys. It's not often that you guys, get to I guess talk to media or do podcasts in this case. But and you quickly became a fan favorite. I don't know if you probably saw some of that love, like especially when you're playing, maybe people calling you taters, and stuff like that. But it wouldn't be fair not to ask you about the whole emo Jimmy Butler, content day thing. So I
Yeah.
guess is that your personality? I mean, the fun one, the prankster of the group.
Yeah, I mean, I always like to have a happy-go-lucky, outgoing, good vibe mentality. I feel like, when in a whole span of the year, you want to keep an energy always positive. If it's in the down slumps of it, or if the high slumps of it, you always want to have a positive outlook on everything going on. So I always like to, just keep everyone in good spirits, help all the young guys if they're feeling down in any way or struggling with anything, of just always just being positive, because hate to say it, we're pretty fortunate that we get to play this game for a living, and we're pretty blessed. So it's just like you have to always look outside of like the opportunity we have, being on earth at this time, playing this beautiful game, that you have to enjoy it. And I think that's when players kind of have the most fun and can be themselves. And I feel like that just always helps the whole collective group of just like, not, let's say, like having fun with it, but like feeling loose, but then also knowing the difference of like, okay, we can feel loose, but then when it's game time, that we can like kind of like turn the page and get a little bit serious and play with that freedom of like, I can play my best of how I want to play, but also we're here to work and we're here to get a win and do what's best for the team. So I kind of have those like both sides in me, and I feel like it's good for players to be able to bring those out to help the collective group.
Yeah, so before we let you go, you've been in Houston about a year now. So what do you like about the city? What are some things you like to do? And what does Tate Schmidt do on his off days? How do you kind of wind down?
So I'm big into cooking. I really like cooking, and I mean, me just being 26 and an athlete my whole life, I just love to eat. And I think moving into Houston, I found out very soon how big of a diverse like foodie city it is. So I don't ever find time not to like go try a new place, or to go to different grocery stores and like get food to make cool different meals. There's also all the fun farmers markets around town that are pretty fun to go to. And I think I would say the main thing I like enjoy doing on my off days to like wind down is probably I'm around. I live by like Buffalo Bayou Park, so I really enjoy like going out and just being out in nature, kind of in that little element. Also going to the gym, doing like some recovery stuff, and then I do enjoy golfing. So if there's ever times that we have like days off, I try to get out to the golf course and swing the sticks around. So any of those sorts, but most of it, if we do have the off days, is just like unwinding and eating good food, I would say, for myself.
My man, food is always good, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's just finish up with any words you have for the Houston Dynamo fans as we get closer to the start of the regular season.
Um, I mean, I think personally, from playing in the games in the first 5 games and seeing like the support of like kind of the run we were going on, of like starting to win at home and keeping that, you know, we had like that shutout streak for the first, I forget how many games at home, but like just the support at home in those first 2 games that I personally got to play in, it was cool to just see like the fan support and the belief they had on us of being able to like finally, get a clean sheet and win games at home. And I hate to say it, but like in recent times, it hasn't been that successful at home for Houston Dynamo. So to be able to kind of like put that first little like starting point for the team at home, it meant a lot to obviously the team, but also being able to like show to the fans like, hey, like we're trying to win games to help create this like home environment as a fun, energetic, and teams don't come in here to win. And when we play at home, our goal is to make sure we win and don't let the other team get a sniff. So I feel like having that energy and having that just like grit and belief from the fans, I feel like it kind of just empowers us to just play with like strength and just, you're not coming into our house and getting anything here. So I feel like that's helped us kind of just keep that home win streak that we kind of had. We had some slip ups, but the whole year, And then I would say then when I got injured, being able to like experience it from the outside of just seeing the fan support and how much they've supported everyone within the group, not even in the group, around the stadium. It meant a lot to me personally, and helping me with my recovery. And I feel like it kind of showed in the testament of how successful our team was kind of getting into the end of the year. And I feel like obviously starting this next year, it's a brand new year, but we also got to like see into the ability and just, I would say, vision of what this organization is kind of heading to, that we want to continue that, year in, year out. So I feel like it's just belief for another great year that's coming. And with the same energy that they've been bringing, I feel like we're going to continue to just, make the fans proud.
That's great, man. And you know what? I think Bossy probably created a new tradition that, every off day that you guys may not be playing at home, go to the supporter section. Go beat on some drums, man. But
Uh-huh.
hey, thank
Yeah.
you so much, man, Tate, for joining us
Yeah.
today. Best of luck, man, against your next opponents down in Mexico. And we wish you nothing but the best this season, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much, and appreciate you guys' support always.
Yeah, hope you guys enjoy that I was gonna say that episode, but yeah, that Orange Talk segment, obviously. Dude, I don't know. Everything this guy says, he was already pretty likable, but just seeing the way that the grit, the determination he was showing before the injury, and then you get to talk to him and you see like his mentality and the way that he describes like this kind of pushed my recovery. I'm like, dude, those injuries, dude, like you
It
and
can
me
be
get
tough,
it
yeah.
now, we won't be walking for like at least 5 years, right? But
That's I ain't walking.
we ain't walking. I'm gonna need a wheelchair for for like at least 2 years, and then maybe I'll think about running or
Let me tell you a quick story, just because it just happened not too long ago. So the other day, my wife went to, I think she was at the store or the mall, and my daughter saw somebody in a wheelchair. And my oldest daughter, she's pretty lazy, and she was like, "Man, that's so cool. I wish I wish I was in a wheelchair." And mom was like, "What do you mean? Like, they're in a wheelchair because they had either an accident or they're disabled or whatever." She's like, "Well," she's like, "I don't like to walk a lot." But she was like, "A wheelchair would be cool."
that's
That would be us. That would be us.
yeah, no, for real. But no, it's great to see him back on the pitch so quickly after the injury. I'm sure he put in a lot of time,
Yeah.
in the recovery process, and that's to be tough. I always think about it. I was lucky enough that didn't necessarily get injured while I was in my time of playing pretty often. I got injured literally after my senior year. I like tore my hamstring. It was
Dang.
awful. I didn't even tell my mom about it because I was like, we can't afford surgery. Like, so I just bandaged it up, a little bit of Bengay, icy hot, for like a couple,
Let's
2-3
go.
months, actually probably longer. And then I was fine and dandy. And then bam, tore it again. And
Dang.
yeah, yeah. And so if it eventually healed, I was still able to play and do Sunday league and all that good stuff. But yeah, it was not fun. I mean, whenever you tear a muscle, like in this case, obviously a ligament is still pretty bad for sure. But a muscle, like you're running full speed, bro, you hear this like and you
Ah,
just fall to the ground, man. You just fall to the ground. Everything hurt. It was awful. Yeah. But so
dang.
again, that was me at 18 basically when that happened. So now at 34, just give me a wheelchair. Actually, give me the automated ones, please. Just give me one of those, dude. It's fine.
Extra lazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
he not even want to move the arms. That's
Yeah.
funny.
What's it called? Charles, welcome, man. Thanks for joining us. We don't have a designated question session, but you know what? If you think of a question, drop it in. We're about to start talking about the Houston Dynamo and kind of where that is going right now. So yeah, and man, anytime you think of something, let us know if we don't answer it as we go. But Christian, I guess I already went and said it, man. Houston Dynamo, brother.
Let's
Let's
do
go
it.
ahead and get into the Houston Dynamo. We know they're in Mexico. They've been scrimmaging a couple teams down there. I don't know why I put him first. But yeah, so
straight to the
yeah,
jugular.
we'll go back. We'll go back. But no, so obviously they're down there. They played Chivas. They already played Tecos, and today they played Leones Negros. So yeah, those are the 3 matches so far. So they got one more against Chivas. Whether that is a full Chivas team or yet again another maybe U23 hybrid team, that's kind of what we're seeing. From what I saw, Christian, from this game, I didn't see like the whole highlights, but a lot of the pictures that I saw, I didn't see a lot of the regular starters. I think they focus more on the Dynamo 2 players and a couple sprinkled, main first team players, because even for the presser information, which whenever Christian gets a chance, man, he'll put that stuff up on the YouTube. But I saw that Kenny spoke, as well as I think Sik Soto and Kieran Surgeon. So again, I think it was this match. It was, I believe, a 4-3 loss for the Houston Dynamo. But again, from what I can see, it looks like a lot of the younger players, and Sebastian Rodriguez actually as well. He was one of the guys that did a presser. So again, a lot of young players kind of made a part of that. But talking about young players, you guys, if you guys are following us on the stream, you saw the picture of the young Colombian, Nelson Quinones. Man, Quinones was having a pretty good season last year. Ups and downs, of course, but he with a lot of potential. Obviously, they end up re-signing him. He gets a call to the Olympic team for Colombia due to someone getting injured. He's playing very well, getting minutes. And unfortunately for him, he ends up picking up an injury that looked pretty awful, man. I did not want to put that video clip here. I just feel it's a little bit disrespectful to keep showing that injury, especially, again, it wasn't a pretty one. So the idea for Nelson Quinones, man, I think was for him to be a starter. You would say that, Christian? Coming into the season.
Yeah, because he had been starting right towards the end of the season, so I think he kind of won his spot. There wasn't a lot of competition for his spot. He is kind of the only player that we have that had the qualities that he has, which is basically getting the ball, running down the flank, and trying to put a cross in. He's literally the only one, unless you count, Griffin Dorsey, but he's more of a fullback type deal, right? But he was a starter for sure right now, right?
Right. No, and again, he had been playing well. I think for how young he is, he's showed a lot of potential. You hope that, again, the injury itself, we haven't heard anything back. We know that he is in Houston. His social media, I think he posted like someone interviewing him. He was standing up straight, not a brace, whether that was current or not. But I'm sure. Again, I don't want to say gruesome, but it was pretty gruesome.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
It looked like a dislocated knee. If you're going to describe it. So what the extent of the injury, we haven't heard anything. I know the Houston Dynamo are obviously going to make their own tests, see exactly what is wrong with the knee or what can be done, and see if it's able to come back sooner, make the season at all, or miss the whole season. So, which is funny because with this injury, yeah, Rushan, you're right. Yeah, that's exactly the picture that I saw too. It looked like they were talking to him at the airport, and honestly, the first reaction I got, Christian, and I put it on our group chat. I was like, put a knee brace on him for the love of God! Like, I don't want him to tip over or get any worse. Yeah, man. Get something on him, to a little bit of support, man. Give him a crutches or something. But he's a young guy. We joke around about injuries right now at our age, man. But they can definitely get healthy and better sooner. But You want it to be right. You don't want him to, whether it be like, hey,
Yeah.
I can go, I'm 100%. You don't want him to aggravate it worse, and for it to be any worse, man. But yeah, that's Nelson Quinones right now, the situation there, and obviously we spoke about H being injured. That's a big miss, and then you add him, Quinones, and I don't think he's necessarily a star or he's like one of the best players on the team right now. But when it comes to the attack, yeah, you would have to count him as probably one of your best attackers up there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, super dangerous. I think he was still growing into who he is as a soccer player. But honestly, from the beginning of the season, well, we saw it, towards the end of last season. That's when his contract was in limbo type thing, and he was either going to get re-signed or go back to Colombia. He started playing a lot better. Obviously, got a new contract. And then, for a little while, he kind of, was slacking a little bit. And then for some reason, he started picking it up. And I think everybody kind of saw the change. And he became a really, I'm not going to say super important piece, but, he was dangerous. He doesn't look like he could be a quick guy, or at least whenever he grabs the ball, he doesn't seem like he's in a hurry. But whenever he starts running, like you can't really stop him, right? And he was dangerous for the Houston Dynamo. He was dangerous, and getting into the box, cutting back, taking shots. Towards the end, he was taking a lot more shots for the team, which is something that you needed, especially with having Corey Baird, who's who can poach really well inside the box for rebounds and stuff like that. It's going to be a big miss for sure. Especially like I said, since he's the only one that has those characteristics to make those runs in this current squad. We'll see if anybody's going to step up, if they're going to sign anybody else, to kind of replace him. Obviously, this is still kind of new to us, right? This happened earlier last week, a few days ago. So it's still fresh, right? And I think the changes will be made because obviously same thing that happened with HH, and now we're getting this new guy.
Yeah.
I think the same thing is going to have to happen here, unless they're thinking somebody from Dynamo Dos. But even then, Dynamo Dos is still being revamped. A bunch of the guys are going to Carolina, and Kenny Bundy is building a whole new squad there. So
yeah,
it's going to be interesting for sure.
I think one thing that Mr. Joey Chavales, that knows every freaking rule in the book when it comes to MLS. I think there's nobody more knowledgeable. I used to say that about Dustin, but even Joey beats Dustin sometimes and all the intricacies of the rules and regulations for some of this stuff. And one thing that he did mention was, depending on the injury, whether they know that he's going to miss the season right now, that technically the roster is not set for the MLS regular season, that there could be a possibility that his contract, depending how it gets sorted out, he may not necessarily go towards the cap. So it opens up maybe a possibility to bring, obviously they have to bring somebody, like you said, whether it be from the academy or whether it be from outside, but having flexibility on the cap, obviously for the most part, you're going to see a guy from, out and about come in. And one name, and I like that Charles mentioned this as well, is Albert Ellis, right? So much rumors on whether he is coming into the Dynamo or he's coming to MLS. Looked like he was very close to signing with the New England Revolution. It didn't get finalized, but sources mentioned that the Dynamo did in fact at least inquire about his services, and they just couldn't come to any kind of terms at the time, and he went back to France. But this was right before the injury to Nelson Quinones, and again, I think bringing Elise back would make a lot of sense just because of the player that he is. We know that he can play it out wide, a dangerous player. Lately, he's been playing more of a striker, so that'd be another conversation altogether if that would be the case of him coming to the Dynamo. But he has a house here. He has family, lives in Houston. I think he was very successful here. There's a big Honduran community here. So I believe that if he was to come to the MLS again, I think the Dynamo will probably be the team that will bring him in. And again, because at the end of the day, I think it would fit the scheme that they're trying to play, and it'd be a like to like substitution between like a
Oh
Quiñones
yeah.
and an Elise, obviously. So,
Yeah.
plus we wouldn't want to see the whole Panther celebration and the
That
mask
would be
and
dope.
all
Yeah.
that good stuff, man. I've always said it. I've been to a lot of professional games, but Albert Ellis, like in the 2018 season, that dude was just like, I mean, every ball, every sprint, like the dude was just like a cheat code, we on a video game basically. So, and he still has that. He has had some injury since he left the Dynamo, but I think he still would give a spark in the attack that the club really, really
For
needs. And
sure.
talking about the attack, man, we know that the team is having fun down there in Mexico, man. You have Bassi, which that's another thing. It looks like he went back to France. I don't know if you saw that, Christian, but it looked like Bassi went
Huh.
back, possibly green card aspect of the game. At this point, a lot of those guys tend to go back to try to get paperwork completed or work visas or whatever it would be. But yeah, right now it looks like, again, from social media, it looks like he's not here. And I didn't see anything recently of any post from the Dynamo with him in it, so it would make a lot of sense. It said Boss back. Yeah, that's another thing, man. So we see Sebastian Ferreira is having a ton of fun, man. We discussed this, right? I think, Christian, you made a comment saying this is his make or break year.
For
He
sure.
had a really, really bad 2023, 0 goals for a striker. That's awful. And it's not like he wasn't playing. Like, I mean, the guy was getting minutes, whether it be limited or not. But that is, um, what he's gonna do. And right now, it looks like he's been scoring a couple goals down there. Again, it's preseason. Don't take it out of hand. He scored a brace against was it Tecos? Yeah, Tecos. And I believe he had a goal on the first game as well. And I'm not necessarily sure if he scored on this third game against Leones Negros, but it's good to see him because just getting the hang of it. Ben Olsen had mentioned, and I think the last presser that we had with him on Friday that he struggled. Sebastian Ferreira struggled last year to kind of get in rhythm and scoring. He was definitely out of shape, uh, and
Yeah.
and so he found it difficult just to keep up with everybody else, and then not scoring. Yeah. He did score today, Dago. Okay, man, Dago knows. Oh, you know what? That's true. I did see somebody post it.
Yeah, he scored today.
Yeah. That's what it was. I don't know why I was thinking differently, but yeah. So obviously, I think I saw the guy from TUDN posted. I forgot the guy's name. Not Cesar,
Aldo.
not our friend Cesar. I think
Aldo.
either Aldo or his friend. I forgot the guy's name. Master something. Or is it Aldo? Is that Aldo? Maybe it is.
No, well, Aldo is the guy from here, and then you have Historiador. Historiador is in Mexico, but I think he's in Mexico City.
I think it was the other guy. What's it called? I think his name is Master. And again, I don't know if that's Aldo or not because
He was on TUDN,
Master
Houston.
Rodriguez. Yeah. Master Rodriguez. I think he works with Aldo, but I did see that he posted somewhere on here. Let me see. No, I just saw it. Yeah. Yeah, he put obviously we saw Ferreira, so Ferreira scored. The young guy, Kieran Sargent and Reigns were the 3 people that scored. So it's good to see the young fellows get a goal and get some confidence for sure, man. And yeah, obviously the confidence of Ferreira just to get some goals, knowing that there's not another real striker out there. And
Yeah.
with the team, with the way it was clicking at the end of the year, with and you see the pictures of Sebastian Ferreira on the right with Sebas Kabocik, which, dude, Kabocik has been playing good. All those little highlights, obviously, we don't get to see a lot of the entire game, but man, the guy is putting in dimes and just playing very well. Again, I think he was getting some playing time because of Bassi not being there. And then
Yeah.
the guys on the left and right backs being Griffin Dorsey and Brad Smith, man, they're playing very well, man. I think even Ben Olsen said that Brad Smith was playing out of his mind right now in the preseason. So
That's good.
that's a good sign. That's a good sign. But you guys mentioning depth chart. So yeah, obviously Ache is not in the picture. We really don't know what's gonna happen with Luis Caicedo, but the Dynamo have in fact signed MLS veteran Johns Gregu. So Johns Gregu spent majority of his time in the MLS playing with the with Minnesota United. And then I believe he ended up going to San Jose for a little bit, then landed in Nashville, and then back to Minnesota. He's 33 years old. He even got to compete with Slovakia in the Euros of 2016 and 2020. So, I mean, this guy is no stranger to soccer. Very good player. He plays the role that you're looking at him is an 8, a box to box 8. And I think from what you have right now being Arthur or Coco in that central position, I think Gregus can play close enough to like what Hector provides for you. So it's a good pickup. We saw pictures. Actually, Tay Schmidt was the one that posted a little video, and we were like, "Hey, is that Jans right there?" Like so we knew he was there when we started doing some digging, and it was about 5-6 days later that we finally get some information on him on Johns. But yeah, I think it's a good pickup, man. Good MLS pickup. I know, Christian, you may not keep up with all of MLS, but just in general, man, what do you think about just bringing another midfielder in the group?
I mean, it was needed, right? Like you mentioned, Ache. Now being there, Caicedo probably, even though Ache is our best player in a roster, I think not having Caicedo is a major blow. I really liked Caicedo. I think he was a really, really good and vital, important piece, even though he came in second half sort of to close down games. But I think that what he brought to the game of the Houston Dynamo was a little sense of peace and security when it came down to shutting down games. And hopefully Jen can give us that, right. It seems like it from what like you said, in our group chat we have a lot of MLS nerds, Joey, Dustin, and they have been already posting stats and everything, charts, from his performance and stuff like that. And it seems like the guy, he's a very solid defensive player. So that's what we needed. And I think, we have seen Asher and Pat, the work that they have been doing this past year. It's been pretty solid. I mean, almost every single signing that they've gotten has worked out so far. Obviously, there's exceptions to everything, right?
Tiaguinho.
Who?
Tiaguinho.
Oh, well, but that's not an Asher thing. I put that on Pat. I think Pat made some decisions without Asher's consent. But that was in the beginning of time, right?
Yeah.
But I think he learned a valuable lesson with Dieguinho on that one.
Yeah.
But I feel like Asher, honestly, and the team, I think the team that they have been building, because right after Dieguinho, the whole we have specialists that kind of look at stats and stuff like that now, that have been working with the Houston Dynamo and providing them with a lot of information. And you literally seen the change of who they go for and how they scout, right?
Yeah.
They keep adding scouts. I can't remember the name, but there's a guy that came from Austin that has worked with Pat before in Columbus Crew. So, he's getting his people back. He's getting a team back from the great Columbus when he was over there. Columbus, obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say, they're still great, man.
Yeah, exactly. They're a staple in the league, right? And it's one of those clubs that you kind of want to, mimic or look after to kind of, build up, your club as a club, right? When you look at Columbus in the last 5 years, you're like, we want to be like them. So I mean, I'm happy. Honestly, I think the people are learning to kind of trust the decisions that they're making. I think in the beginning everybody was skeptical, even with Pat and everybody there. But I
Always
think
raise
now,
my hand
obviously,
on that one, man. I always raise my hand on that one.
yeah. But I think they're kind of turning around the minds of people that maybe doubted, or I mean, uh, everybody had reason to doubt, from previous GMs, and his decisions in the beginning weren't so great. But I think we're turning everything around. The Dynamo are looking forward. They're looking to change the mentality. I mean, you see it. I mean, I saw it on Tate Schmidt. Uh, his the interview you guys did with him. You can see the way that he talks and the way that he sees himself as a great player and a player that can be competitive and provide a really high level of soccer in this squad. And you see that from him. You see that from players like Griffin Dorsey. Ache I think also changed the mentality of a lot of the young players. And you kind of see it in every, like, if you go down each player that we have on the roster, you see the mentality of the guys that they've been saying, we want winners, we want people with trophies on their back, we want people that know how it is to win, that are not content when it comes to losing or tying,
Right.
and making a fortress of shell energy. So I mean, I'm happy. I guess I'm happy. With
Yeah.
Jan.
No, for sure. And like I said, I think there's still gonna be some roster move, roster move and transfers. It looks like Coco Carrasquilla is gonna stay at least till the summer. Now that most of the
It's
European
gonna be interesting.
transfers, yeah, exactly, are gone. But honestly, could have come in a better time, right? Because he can come in and still play as a wing like he played most of last year, or he can come in and move into what Achi is doing, and a role
Yeah,
that he knows from Panama.
like
So maybe
his
it's one
best
of
role.
those, blessings in disguise type of thing. So
Yeah,
maybe this gives him the opportunity to play better and get, make plenty of games that he becomes the man, and that actually gives him that launch pad to a European team if that's what he wants to do. And
for sure.
um, obviously we still have time. There's still 3 more weeks till the first game of the season, which would be in Champions Cup against St. Louis City. And of course, we do know that the what is it, like 3 days after that or so? Wait, no, three. I can't even do my math right, but like 4 days, 4 days after the fact, they'll be taking on Sporting Kansas City in the home opener. So, there's still going to be pieces added on. I know that for sure. It's a must. They have to, just to kind of get. And again, when I say stuff like this, don't expect super splashy names or
No,
for
no,
Ted to. You have to be realistic a lot of it. I believe the core pieces are all there, apart from again Hector Herrera and Nelson Quinones, but you can always add some roster depth pieces, so that way you feel a little comfortable in case injuries do happen. And just to finish on a little bit, we know it looks also one name that was being thrown out there was a defender out of Penn State. Believe he's a center back. His name is Femi Owendesu. He was actually slotted, or I guess mentioned to be drafted in like the top 10 of this year's MLS draft. He didn't. No one drafted him for whatever the reason. So he's a free agent. And uh, the thing there was that the Houston Dynamo were looking into getting him. Have not seen a picture of him in Mexico. Wouldn't be surprised if he is down there, maybe training like Johns was. But again, more depth pieces, right? At the end of the day,
no.
that's really what you need. And whether he makes the cut to be in the first team or just stays with Dynamo 2, I think doesn't necessarily hurt us, because you can always, there's ways to bring them up and down. So at the end of the day, it's good. It's good for this team, especially a player like him. Again, he was, I believe, like named defender of the year for his conference, captain of his team, played a ton of minutes. So those leadership traits and just the way that, like you mentioned, even Tate Schmidt saying like, I don't want to sound cocky, but I'm pretty
Yeah,
good, and that's really the
you want
mentality
that.
you want. You want that. You want
Yeah,
to have your player do that. You want the last guy on your depth chart to think that he's gonna be starting. That's really what you need, and so that's a good mentality to have, man. But Christian, we're almost dang man, we're always an hour in already, which is crazy, man. This kind of flew by. But um, let's go ahead and wind it down. And the only thing I want to finish off with, my friend, is just the World Cup. So we finally got some news about the World Cup in 2026.
La Copa.
Houston will have 7 matches. It's not,
Wow.
yeah, it's crazy, man. I was thinking about it and I was like, my God, this is gonna be awesome. Hopefully first of all, hopefully I'm still alive for it. So I'll make sure to at least do
Knock
my
on
part,
wood.
eat a little healthy, go for a walk
Excellent.
every 30 minutes. Now, if a car like hits me or something, that's not on
Yeah,
me,
that's
okay?
not on you.
That's not on me.
You did your part.
But I'm trying out like to, for me to kill me type of thing. Like kind of work on that. Try to stay alive a little longer.
Oh man.
But yeah, so the Houston will get 7 matches. Um, you have 5 games in group stage, and then 2 in the knockout stages. That being the round of 32 and the round of 16. So no final here in Houston, but we kind of knew that was going to be the case. It was going to be a big name city, whether it be LA, New York. This time it was New Jersey, man. Out of we're going to New Jersey for the final, man. Glorious, what is it? Can't even think of the name of the MetLife Stadium. Uh,
MetLife Stadium.
with the New York Jets, New York Giants play. So it should be an interesting. Man, I'm excited. Again, we have 2 years to go. Actually, a little bit more, but can't wait. Can't wait. It's around the corner. I think
That's
we're all,
wild.
you got to see Argentina become champion. I really don't believe Mexico's going to be champion of the world
Have some faith, bro.
in my lifetime. Hey, if it happens, yeah, I'm
What
gonna
would
go.
you do? What would
I
you
don't
do?
know, man. That's the thing. I don't know. So because I can't, as a Mexican, that's my biggest pet peeve, because people always say like, "Si se puede," and I'm like, if you start with that mentality of yes, you can, you already kind of came like with a defeated mindset. So I myself
That's
don't think
true.
that way, but 99% of my Mexican friends believe that, and so it's just a mindset, man. I think they've tried really hard to get that twisted in people's minds that, dude, it can be done. Like don't be so negative. But
Let
but
me
but I don't know, man. I hope that in my lifetime that happens, but I don't know.
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. As a Mexican, right? Mexico is always looking for that 5th game,
Yeah,
right? Now that there's an extra like layer, right? An
yeah,
extra
yeah.
game. Does that change anything, or are
You
you
have to
guys
do 2
still?
more at that point. You
Yeah,
have to go look
so
for a
you'll be
6th
like
game for
six,
sure.
six
Yeah.
games.
So it's never been done. So
Never ending, huh?
Yeah, exactly. So no, but man, obviously have it in Mexico and Canada and the US. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna be busy. Like I said, hopefully,
Oh
God
yeah,
willing, we're here covering the games. It'd be great to make it to one, if not all of those games, Christian.
yeah.
Especially if we believe that Bayou City Soccer is going to continue to do the great things that it's been doing. We got to put in the work, man. We just got to put in the work for that amount of time and enjoy that thing. And I'll just finish it with, I don't know. I can't mention it whenever, but that's another thing. We did get to record with Mente Futbolera a podcast, so I don't know if it'll
Ooh,
be
yeah.
out by the time this week or next week.
He
But
said,
anyways,
yeah, he said 2 weeks.
for my Spanish speaking people, my Spanish speaking friends. So, si hablas español, busca Mente Futbolera y ahí nos encuentras en el próximo podcast. And yeah, talking about that, I was telling you guys about that Captains of the World Netflix documentary.
Mhm.
Christian. So I finally finished, and you will love it, man, because obviously, I mean, it starts from everybody, and then eventually, like last episode is the final, right? France against Argentina and all that stuff. But I was getting a kick out of like because they talk to players, obviously, like the most of them are the captains of their teams, like Messi, what's his name, Luka Modric. They talk to there's quite a lot. I think I don't know if they talk to the Mexican guys or not, but anyways, so so apart from them, they talk to coaches and they talk to some media people. Bro, the media people were the worst, especially like the French and the Argentina people. Like you see the Argentina media person was a girl, and so I mean super professional. Goes to like she's inside the locker room, and I'm like, man, that's pretty cool. And then the next thing you see her like in with the people, like just chanting, and I'm like, bro, like if that was us at a Houston Dynamo game, bro, like please kick us out. You know, I know
No,
they
don't kick us
will.
out.
They should, but they should though. My point is
Why?
like because why are you celebrating like that, man?
Because
You're supposed to be.
nah.
And then wait, hear me out. And then what was funny, dude, the French guy was cracking me up because obviously in the final, especially, like, well, this guy will celebrate everything, and okay, take that back. The girl, yes, you're right. Why would you kick him out? Because she was with the fans, she was doing her thing, she wasn't really covering the game from a media booth. But the French guy, bro, was like on the media booth, and he was just celebrating every goal and everything. And what was funny is, so get to the final. Argentina's winning 2-0. I guess next to him is an Argentina media guy, and he's just like screaming. And the French guy is so pissed. He's just like, "Hey man, come down." He keeps telling him that, and then obviously things flip around. You know the story, and the guy just screaming his lungs out, and it's like, all right, guys, let's tone it down. Let's tone it down a little bit.
Relax.
Just a little bit. Relax, man. But anyways, man, I just wanted to kind of mention that. But Christian, man, let's go ahead. This was a great episode. Hopefully, people got to listen to live, especially that interview with Tate Schmidt Taters, or whenever you get to get to listen on the podcast or even on YouTube, go to hit the live section, and you'll have this recording in there. You can watch it there. Again, you can listen to it on your podcast, wherever you listen to, whether it be Spotify or Apple. Man, don't forget, like, subscribe, follow us on our social media, and follow Christian at Christian Putalias, and basically any social media application. You can follow myself. You see on the screen, Rudy Segura 3. That's my Twitter handle. So feel free. I don't want to become famous, though. You don't have to give me 10,000 followers, but I would love to see Bayou City Soccer hit 2,000. We're right there.
Yes.
We started last year. We're right there, man. So if you guys can get us to 2,000 followers by the end of the week, man, it'd be great. It'd be great. And obviously, we'll be back next week. I think we'll probably have a guest, unless I go crazy and maybe get another interview. And shout out to the communication team, Edgar, Jack.
Yeah.
They do a great job and help us out. Give us those opportunities to chat with the players, so you guys can get to know them and learn more about them. But Christian, man, it's good seeing you. Let's keep it going. And I guess you Rodrigo today. No Rodrigo still.
Oh no.
He don't even text me half of the time anymore. He's my brother, But go ahead, man, and close it out, man.
Man. But yeah, just lastly, don't forget, check us out at BayouCitySoccer.net. Don't forget BayouCitySoccer.net. That's where you can find us. And like Rodrigo would say, don't forget to hold it down and keep it forever orange.